Now this is a familiar shape, isn't it? It's a Porsche Cayman. It comes with 2 seats, 2 places to pop your luggage, a Porsche badge on its nose, and an engine in the middle. But this isn't any old Cayman, it's the newest one, and that means its engine comes with turbo power and 4 cylinders. Like the Boxster before it, the Cayman has been given a new heart and a little bit of a going over. Now for the first time, both the Boxster and the Cayman share not only the same engine but the same power output, which means the Cayman is now cheaper than the Boxster. That's odd to me, because when the Cayman was introduced in 2005, it was the more expensive and powerful of the two. The Boxster was your entry-level car, while the Cayman was the slightly more grown-up one. The power difference also created a nice bridge to the 911. I think it looked awesome. It was my favourite design of all of the Caymans, whatever. I liked it. The second generation Cayman, yeah, it was a looker, but it's a bit bigger, a bit more Tonka trucky. But this, I do like what Porsche's done. The new front end really sharpens it up, and from there backwards, it's very familiar, but still different. It's just that little bit sleeker, that little bit sharper. I will say this though, that black band along the back with the Porsche name logo thing in it, looks a bit naff, doesn't it? Now the engine. You get a 2-litre turbo in the base car or a 2.5-litre turbo in the S. This one. The power from the S is 345 brake horsepower and 310 pound-foot. 34 horsepower and 44 pound-foot more than the old naturally aspirated car. 0 to 62 with the PDK and the Sport Chrono Pack takes just 4.2 seconds. That's fast. The same as a Carrera 911 in Sport Plus apparently, and its top speed is 177 miles an hour. The new 718 Cayman is more efficient than the car it replaces as well. MPG is approaching 40 and it emits less than 200 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide. That'll be thanks to the smaller motor and turbo boost, of course. Now, like the Boxster before it, the Cayman's been given some under-the-skin work as well. The steering is 10% more direct. No idea how you measure that, but okay. The chassis has been fiddled with, there are firmer springs, retuned dampers, stiffened anti-roll bars, and the rear wheels are ½ inch wider. Then you start specking toys and there are so many to choose from. So there's Sport Chrono, which everybody gets because it gives you lots of things to play with. Then you can get Porsche Torque Vectoring, which gives you a mechanical differential and torque vectoring, and in the S you can spec something called PASM Sport, which lowers the car's ride height by 20mm, giving it a sportier edge and making it just that little bit better than cars without it. And on top of all of that, the 718 Cayman S, well, that gets the brakes from the 911, which means not only can it get to 62 pretty much as quick, it'll also stop from 62 pretty much as quick as well. Now, many people have said that the Boxster sounds terrible, that the flat 6 Howell's absence is a huge deal, and I have to admit it was a massive part of the Cayman's charm. The Cayman GT4, for example, one of the best cars of 2015, not only went well, but it sounded amazing. So now it's time for a small comparison. Here's the Cayman GT4 on song. And here's the new 718 Cayman S. I don't get what Porsche was thinking. Someone let this out of the factory and went, yes, that is a sound that we want heard all over the world. Lots of people buy Boxsters and Caymans, so let's let it sound like that and everyone can hear how great we are. Why? Why? You spoiled something so good! You spoiled it! So my colleague Drew rather liked the Boxster. He liked it quite a bit, in fact. However, he also liked the first generation Porsche Panamera. I'll just leave that thought with you and you can make of that what you will. So what we have to decide really is, how does the 718 Cayman S drive? What's it like? We'll start off with the steering. Porsche's made it 10% more direct, and I've been pottering around on Swedish roads, and it turns out Sweden doesn't like corners. So the few bends I have had to play with, it does feel really, really good. Yes, it's still electromechanical and all that nonsense, but it's smooth, it's direct, it's sharp. You can tell where the front end is and you can adjust it ever so slightly. It handles beautifully, it really does. The speed of it, the pace of it, the feel of it, I thoroughly enjoy it. I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Porsche's manual gearboxes, but this, it's a decent throw. It's quite notchy, but it's wonderfully direct. Get a vaguely twisty road, or just get on it down a big straight thing, and it feels proper. This with a PDK, I think would feel a little bit wrong, because you'd lose that connection to the car, and that's what cars like this are all about. You know, they're sports cars, they're supposed to be man and machine, etc. Throttle response, now with this new engine, there is a little bit of turbo lag, you do feel it, but once you get it above 2,500-ish RPM, then the car really comes into its own. You get so much boost, you get fired down the road, and you just pop your foot in the throttle, and off you go. It's pretty much instant. Now the interior, I think it's great. The infotainment system works really well. I was playing with Apple CarPlay a while ago and it works. It's really good. Porsche's nailed this. The old system was a little bit slow and a little bit janky and it was okay. Now though, it's bob on. It works really well. I can also see out of it remarkably well. The wing mirrors are massive. There's not a lot of vis through the rear view mirror, but there isn't anyway because it's quite a compact car. The last Cayman felt very big, it felt very chunky. I felt really small in it, but this, I know it's the design, but I do feel a lot more like a normal sized human in this. I certainly didn't before. It's hard to top this thing. It's a truly outstanding car. Bar the noise. Bar the bloody awful noise. Even if the 718 was the best car on the planet, I'd still have a problem with it, and that's its name. You see, I get that the Panamera got its name from a race, the Targa as well, but 718? Renaming two cars that already had perfectly good names because they have a similar engine layout to a race car from a lifetime ago, that just strikes me as silly. Is it simply because they wanted to remind everyone of the 718 racer, or is it something else? It was as though Porsche was scared of losing some of its rep with this new engine configuration, so didn't even give the Cayman and the Boxster a chance. They just hid them away and gave, well, the new car the new name. Boxster and Cayman, they're quite easy names to remember, to say. What's the betting that whoever buys one of these, or a 718 Boxster, won't ever use the 718 bit of the name? So it's got a silly name and it sounds distinctly un-Porsche-ish, but it goes like stink and doesn't look too bad at all. It's also cheaper than the car it used to be, more expensive than, and the top whack car is less than £50,000. It's a lot for a 2.5 litre 4-pot, but the numbers make up for it. Just. The 718 Cayman S, or Cayman S, or just Cayman, is in nearly every way a better car than the one that preceded it. The last one was awesome, it was good fun. This one is just better. It's sharper, it's tauter, it's faster, it's better for the environment. But that noise, that's the one thing that kills it. For me, the most important thing about a car really is the noise it makes, because you can't go flat out everywhere. If it were me, if it were my money, and I was offered the choice between this or going on a classified site and looking for a used Cayman S, that's where I'd be going, because the noise, it's the biggest downside of it. Hopefully the next generation or a facelift will fix that, but for now, it's so nearly one of the best things ever. But not quite.